Hey everyone, happy Monday. We've made it through another week. Exciting news from church with the pastor search, so that's fun. So I'm gonna, there's not too much else to go into with it. But, so we're gonna continue through Ezra, like we've been going. We should be able to finish up in the next, 2 weeks. Yeah. So we're finishing up chapter 8 of Ezra. Chapter 9 and 10 kind of go back to they tie in a lot more together than some of these last ones. So kind of breeze through those in a sense. But so we're at Ezra 8, verse 34 to 36. The whole was counted and weighed, and the weight of everything was recorded. At that time, those who had come from captivity, the returned exiles, offered burnt offerings to the God of Israel, 12 bulls for all of Israel, 96 rams, 77 lambs, 96 rams, 77 lambs, and as a sin offering, 12 male goats. All this was a burnt offering to the Lord. They also delivered the king's commissions to the king's satraps, to the governors of the province beyond the river, and they aided the people in the house of God. So I made a quick thought I had reading this section. I was thinking back to forward to in the New Testament when Jesus is kind of being quizzed by the different Pharisees and whatnot, and they ask him about basically paying taxes to Caesar, and he says give to Caesar what is Caesar's. I think there's a line of the currency at that time literally had Caesar's face on it, but also the kind of that's kind of not exactly, but kind of represented here in verse 36 specifically. That, they had all these animals, they had all these different things they were giving to God, giving for sin, sacrifice for sin, all that stuff. But they also had money kind of set aside for... it's part of what the king had given to Ezra for this kind of overall journey. But the kind of payment to the basically king's assistants and the kind of government and people that were running that area. Not Jewish people, not the temple, not anything like that, but stuff set aside. And there wasn't this big, why are we giving it to this? Why aren't we giving it all to God or anything like that? Because there is kind of this idea of, give to God what is God's, give to the world what is the world's, in a sense. And yeah, I think that is... another kind of note I saw, which is maybe something that no one else has ever thought about. But when it's listing through basically the different animals for the burnt offerings, it then specifies at the end that there's the 12 male goats were specifically as a sin offering. And in my mind, it was always all the... they had in the book of Psalms, those are all kind of songs, basically. Songs, poems, and stuff to God in worship. So they had their songs, they had dancing and whatnot that they did as worship. So I always kind of had in my mind that all these sacrifices are in some way, shape, or form for sin, a kind of atonement for sin. So just kind of interesting to see that. And when I reflect on the different passages, it makes sense that a lot of the sacrifices are not explicitly for sin, for the forgiveness of sin. But yeah, it was just something interesting that I noted. So just a fun little thought if any of you guys have not had that. But so the kind of point I want to get at is this breakdown of the Israelites, and specifically these are the ones that are just returning from it says exile from Babylon. So it's not necessarily the first group from the beginning of the book, because there's an original group that came and then a later group that came with Ezra. And not that they're not all participating in this, but this is kind of the offering set forth by the people that have now returned. But just how there's this separation of they brought these gifts because it's an offering, as a burnt offering for all of Israel to kind of pray and seek God's help in just the country as a whole. Rams and lambs as just kind of further worship, support, like all that kind of thing, and then an additional sin offering, and then kind of the money, different things that were going to go to the like government and around that were not the Jewish people, and how back then, without complaint, there was just kind of this understanding of like there's all these different gifts that all go to different things, and that's all right. Like I feel like now it can be very much like I have my one gift. I'm only going to focus on that one gift. I can do that. I can give it to this part of the church. I can give it to music. I can give it to so on and so forth. But I feel like in here and a lot of other places in the Bible, it's not just like, I mean, you maybe have like one thing that you're like really good at, and that's definitely something you should give. But just kind of this idea that like when you're giving your whole life to God, it's not like, okay, I have a job, I like to run, and I do music. So I'm going to give all of my music to God. That's not what giving your whole life to Him is. Like, you give, like, I mean, excuse me, I'm not a perfect example, and I have a lot of things working on with just my relationship with God, as I think we all should at all times. But just kind of that idea that, like, whether you're in school or living with your parents or, like, these different things, you can give, like, that part of your life to God and your family and have that be kind of a blessing to God and your family. And then you have another part of your life that you give in a different way. You have another part of your life that you give in a different way. Just kind of the idea, like, there's so many ways to give your life to God, and it's not just a one-size-fits-all. It's every part of your life can give back in some way. So if you're not, like, if you see someone else who's giving more or giving, like, better, which I don't really think there's a way to give better, but you may think that in your mind, because I've certainly thought that in my mind. But to not get, like, caught up in the, I have my one giving box that I'm good at, and I'm going to keep doing that. Just to and I'll look at this and see that, I mean, just in the burnt offerings themselves, there's 4 different categories. Like, there's so much you can do, and so much, like, differentiation in what you can give, that in all part of your life, in all parts of your life, see where you can give, small, big, whatever, give back. And this, I'm not talking about just about money. I mean, like, in your talents, in your time. Just see how all parts of your life can give back to God. And God will use you everywhere He can. We're all useful in more than one way. I don't know if that's a good way to end this. I digress. Just give yourself to God. Have a great week.